Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are immersing ourselves, really getting into the source material surrounding a massive milestone for a fantastic organization, Symphonicity.
And remember, that's pronounced Symphonicity.
Right, Symphonicity, the Symphony Orchestra of Virginia Beach. They're kicking off their 45th anniversary season.
Yeah, and the materials we have, the press releases, the maestro's letter, the program notes, it's quite a lot, packed with information.
Way beyond what you'd normally see for just a season announcement.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to give you the shortcut, the inside track to being fully informed about this pretty monumental season. We need to unpack the organization's ambitious vision, which is titled Voices of America. And then we're going to zero in on the opening concert, American Icons.
Right. So that means looking at the soloist, the music.
Yep. A deep dive into the returning star soloist, the incredible music they'll perform, which has some really interesting history behind it. And finally, we have to look at the key logistical stuff, the personnel updates from the admin team, the things that actually make all this magic happen behind the scenes.
45 years. That's a remarkable run for any arts organization.
It really is.
Especially one, as we know, that relies so heavily on the dedication of, over 200 volunteer musicians?
That's right, over 200.
But what really elevates this season, it jumps right out from the source material, is how Symphonicity has, strategically aligned its anniversary with a big moment in U.S. history.
Precisely. The entire Voices of America season is positioned as a key cultural celebration leading right into America's 250th birthday year.
So it's not just good timing.
No, it's much more than that. It seems like a really foundational commitment. The orchestra has actually promised to feature all American composers in every single concert this season.
Wow. Every single one.
Everyone. So this means they're not just celebrating their own longevity, which is impressive enough. They're actively, curating and defining what the American symphonic experience means right now.
Okay, so let's unpack that vision then. Voices of America. And I guess we have to start with the person steering the ship, right? The conductor.
Absolutely. The pillar of stability. Music director and conductor Daniel W. Booth. And there's some pretty big news buried in the program notes about him.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He's committed for another 6 years.
6 years. Wow.
Yeah, through 2031. Which is, that's a massive affirmation of his leadership. He started back in 2017.
And having that kind of continuity, especially for an orchestra built on volunteer dedication, that's got to be crucial.
Absolutely crucial. Yeah. Artistic stability lets you do this kind of long-term, ambitious planning. And Booth mentions in his letter how grateful his family is his wife, Andrea Booth.
That's Andrea Booth.
Right, Andrea Booth, and their 5 children for the continued opportunity. It allows for this kind of ambitious planning.
And that ambition is really palpable when you read his letter. It's on page 4 of the program.
Mm-hmm.
The core mission, he says, for Voices of America is to highlight nearly 30 American composers.
30.
Yeah. That immediately signals this isn't going to be like a light greatest hits season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deep dive, a comprehensive exploration of America's diverse symphonic history.
And what's fascinating when you think about programming something like that is the difficulty, right? It's easy to just pull out the most famous pieces.
Gershwin, Copland.
Exactly. But Booth promises what he calls a 3-pronged approach. He wants to show the whole spectrum. So yeah, he's balancing the familiar favorites. You mentioned Gershwin, Bernstein, Barber, and Copland.
That's Copeland.
Copeland, right, thanks. But he also has a clear focus on composers who've maybe been overlooked.
Yeah, he specifically mentioned that. He calls them amazing classics that have gone less noticed. And that's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Totally agree. He named Bonds and George Walker.
Right, 2 African-American composers. Really helps, challenge that often Eurocentric view of American classical music history.
And crucially, it's not just about history. The commitment extends right into the present day. They're including what he calls new and fresh voices from living composers. People like Mackey, Adams, Whitaker, Midkiff are listed.
So the season really spans, almost 2 centuries of American sound?
Pretty much, yeah. It ensures the orchestra stays relevant, stays contemporary, while still honoring the past. It's a really smart balance.
And if you connect this back to the main theme, these Voices of America, they're influenced by everything imaginable, right?
Everything. Booth really stresses this in the letter. The music draws from classical structures, sure, but also jazz, gospel, bluegrass.
It's broad.
Very broad. The intent, he says, is to create a symphony season for every type of music lover. Which is kind of an inclusive artistic statement, isn't it? Challenging maybe the traditional idea of who the symphony is for.
Definitely. And doing all this, it requires an incredible amount of work from those 200 plus musicians.
Oh, absolutely. These are people, remember, who are doctors, teachers, military folks, business professionals during the day.
Right. This is a huge commitment on top of their regular lives.
A massive workload. And Booth seems very aware of that two-way street between the community and the stage.
Which brings up a good point. How does the audience fit into this Voices of America title?
Yeah, he covers that beautifully in the letter. He explicitly includes the listener's voice.
How so?
Through attending concerts, obviously, through donations, through engaging on social media, and, he says critically, through affirmations and ovations, applause.
So the audience response actually matters to the performers.
Directly, he notes that those visible signs of appreciation, the applause, the shares online, they resonate directly with those talented volunteer musicians up there. It's like a whole philosophical framework he lays out. The audience isn't just passively consuming art, they're essential collaborators in actually sustaining it.
The program even details like specific ways to get involved, doesn't it?
Yeah, the 5 ways you can support the vision: auditions, volunteering through their Fermata Club, making a gift, sponsoring a concert, or even leaving a legacy gift.
That level of detail, it really highlights the unique DNA of this organization, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just musicians. It's this huge structured community effort.
Absolutely. Over 12,000 volunteer hours annually, the notes mention. It's incredible.
Ruth is really clear. Yeah. The mission is about sustaining a vibrant community of music lovers first, and then performing this song of American spirit. It says a lot about their stability and that shared community ownership.
Yeah, it's impressive. So that's the big picture vision. Shall we move on to the opening concert itself?
Let's do it. American Icons.
Yeah.
This is the concert that has to set the tone for the whole year.
Right. So the logistics first. Sunday, October 5th, 2025. It's a 3 p.m. start time.
And it's at the Sandler Center for the Performing Arts, our usual home base.
Exactly. Familiar setting. But before we dive into the music itself, we really should mention the concert sponsor.
Oh, right. Red Shock Studio.
Yeah, Red Shock Studio. They're not just any sponsor. They are Symphonicity actual branding and marketing partner.
So all the visuals we see, the brochures, the website imagery, that's them.
That's them. They're the creative force behind that whole aesthetic identity you associate with Symphonicity. It's described as a true collaboration, not just a transaction.
The program notes call them a full-service brand marketing agency and say they support the orchestra for the love of our craft, our clients, our team, and our community. That's a pretty strong statement of partnership.
It really is. It shows how you need that professional support structure.
Makes sense. Okay, so the music for American Icons. What's on the program?
It's a fantastic selection, 5 pieces. We've got Timothy Marr's Fanfare and Grand March, then George Walker's Lyric for String Orchestra, Charles Ives' Variations on America. The big centerpiece is Gershwin's Concerto in F.
That's the one with the soloist.
Exactly. And then they finish with John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever.
Wow, okay.
Huh?
That's quite a mix. Tradition, innovation, humor. It really covers a lot of ground for defining American icons.
It really does. But yeah, like you said, the biggest buzz is probably around the featured artist.
Svetlana Smolina.
And the story of her return is, well, it's quite something.
Yeah, let's talk about her. Her reputation is huge, isn't it? International level?
Oh, absolutely. Top tier.
Yeah.
The sources list performances with, listen to this, the New York Philharmonic, the Mariinsky Orchestra, the Orchestre National de France.
Major leagues.
Totally. And venues like Carnegie Hall, the Hollywood Bowl, the Salzburg Festival. The fact that Symphonicity, a community orchestra powered by volunteers, maintains this connection is, well, it's a testament to their own quality and Maestro Booth's network.
And the reviews back it up.
Oh, yeah. The LA Times called her an outstanding pianist with luxuriant tone, but the New York Times quote is really something. They describe her as mesmerizing and dynamic, and actually placed her among the best pianists of the 21st century.
Wow. Best pianists of the 21st century. That's huge.
It doesn't get much better than that. She's a recognized global force in classical music.
So how did this connection with Symphonicity happen? It wasn't straightforward, was it?
Not at all. It's kind of a saga, actually. Maestro Booth first met her back in 2019 at the Philadelphia International Music Festival.
Okay.
He was impressed, invited her to come perform with Symphonicity in 2020.
2020. I think I know where this is going.
Yep. That concert got canceled literally at the last minute because of the COVID-19 pandemic exploding.
Oh, man.
Maestro Booth calls it so disappointing in his notes, but he adds that he and Smolina were absolutely determined to find a way to make things happen one way or the other.
So they didn't just give up.
Not a chance. That determination led to her actual debut with Symphonicity in 2021.
Okay, so she did perform eventually.
She did, but under, let's say, less than ideal circumstances. The sources are clear. This was peak COVID restrictions. Masks for everyone, audience, orchestra, even Smolina herself while playing.
Wow, playing piano in a mask?
Can you imagine? Plus, heavily spaced seating, only a couple hundred people allowed in the hall. It was a performance defined more by the global crisis than by, a grand artistic celebration.
So it's sort of an act of just getting it done, proving it could happen.
Exactly. An act of profound artistic commitment from everyone involved, especially her. But Booth emphasizes the intent was always to bring her back for a more appropriate showcase.
So this October 5th concert, this is that showcase.
This is it. The payoff for years of patience, rescheduling, determination. It's her grand return under normal circumstances, playing for a full, unmasked audience.
And she must be excited, too.
Oh, definitely. She's quoted saying she feels such great chemistry with Maestro Booth and the very fine musicians of Symphonicity, and that she's really thrilled to share Gershwin's genius with everyone.
It's a great story of resilience, isn't it? It shows what even a volunteer orchestra can achieve.
Absolutely. Overcoming huge hurdles to deliver world-class art. It's impressive.
Okay, so let's dive into that music she'll be playing and the rest of the American Icons program. You mentioned 5 pieces. Where do we start?
We start with Timothy Marr's Fanfare and Grand March. And this isn't just any opening piece.
Oh.
Symphonicity actually commissioned this arrangement. It's a world premiere arrangement for full symphony orchestra done specifically for their 45th anniversary season.
So it's literally their piece for the occasion.
Pretty much their new celebratory anthem, yeah. And what's interesting is where it came from. It wasn't originally for orchestra at all.
Really?
Marr wrote it back in the 80s for symphonic winds and organ. It was used for graduation ceremonies at St. Olaf College. Maestro Booth must have heard it, saw the potential, and asked for this big new arrangement.
So what does it sound like? Why choose this for an anniversary kickoff?
Well, the program notes describe exactly what you'd want. Bright, bold fanfares, flourishing strings,
Right.
Majestic sounding.
It's like standard fanfare stuff.
Sort of, but the key thing, the distinguishing feature, according to the notes, is this perpetuating sequence of syncopated accents.
Syncopated accents, meaning off-the-beat rhythms.
Exactly, placing the emphasis where you don't quite expect it. The notes say this gives the work a fresh forward-leaning motion, so it doesn't just sit there being stately. It drives forward dynamically, kind of pulls you into the new season.
Okay, an energetic welcome. I like it. What comes after the fanfare?
After that bright opening, the mood shifts quite profoundly. We get George Walker's lyric for string orchestra.
George Walker. You mentioned him earlier. First African-American composer to win the Pulitzer Prize for Music.
That's the one. A towering figure in American music. And this piece, Lyric, while it's maybe one of his most loved works now, it has incredibly deep personal roots. Composed in 1946.
What's the story?
The original title tells you a lot. It was called Lament. He wrote it in memory of his grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And his grandmother had spent many years of her life as a slave in America.
Goodness. That context is incredibly powerful, especially for a season called Voices of America.
It absolutely is. It immediately transforms the season from just, patriotic flag waving into a genuine reflection on the complexities of American history. The pain, the resilience, all of it.
And the music itself.
Described as moving and emotional. It lets the string section really sing this beautiful, long, sustained melody. It captures both sorrow and maybe transcendence, placing this piece a memorial to a formerly enslaved person right near the start. That's a very deliberate, very powerful programming choice.
Wow. Okay. So from that depth, where does the program go next?
It pivots to something completely different. The innovative, maybe even slightly irreverent side of the American spirit with Charles Ives's variations on America.
Ives, the insurance executive composer.
That's him. It's still one of the most bizarre and wonderful dual careers in music history. Highly creative, really pushed the boundaries of modern music.
Well, pioneering things like estate planning in his day job.
Exactly. The program notes confirm it. That kind of cognitive dissonance is amazing in itself.
So Variations on America, what's the deal with this piece?
He wrote it when he was just 17 years old.
17?
Yep, back in 1891, originally as an organ showcase piece. And the notes really emphasize the humor, the playfulness of it.
It's based on My Country, 'Tis of Thee, right?
That's the tune, which of course is also the melody for the British anthem, God Save the King.
So it's a very well-known, very respected tune.
And Ives just has fun with it.
Yeah.
The program notes talk about wild and unexpected twists. Think clashing harmonies, rhythms going sideways, deliberate dissonance.
Which must have been pretty shocking back in 1891.
Totally shocking. He's basically using musical caricature. He's sort of laughing with the tune, maybe laughing at stuffy tradition a bit, while still celebrating the melody itself. The sheer nerve of a 17-year-old doing that to a foundational national tune. It's a perfect American icon moment of irreverence.
Okay, that sounds fun. And then we get to the centerpiece, the Gershwin Concerto with Svetlana Smolina.
Right. George Gershwin's Concerto in F. This is really the synthesis, isn't it? High classical form meets the energy of the American jazz age.
And the story behind how he wrote it is pretty interesting, too, according to the notes.
Oh, it's fantastic. So Walter Damrosch from the New York Symphony Orchestra commissioned it in 1925. This was right after the huge success of Rhapsody in Blue.
Okay.
But the thing with the Rhapsody in Blue was that someone else had orchestrated it, Ferde Groffet.
Ah, so Gershwin didn't do the full score himself for that one.
Exactly. So with the Concerto in F, Gershwin was absolutely determined to prove he could handle this massive, serious, three-movement concerto form entirely on his own, orchestration and all.
Imagine the pressure. He wasn't formally trained in orchestration, was he?
Not extensively. So the program notes highlight this amazing detail. Under a tight deadline, Gershwin basically went out and bought books on music theory, on concerto form, on orchestration, and taught himself what he needed to know.
Wow. Talk about learning on the job.
Seriously, it was a huge artistic gamble. But the result, a masterpiece. The sound is just this brilliant blend. The notes describe it perfectly. A bluesy, jazzy flavor.
And that Charleston rhythm.
Yeah, a lively Charleston-style rhythm runs through all three movements, the allegro, the beautiful slow adagio, and then the driving final allegro agitato. Hearing Smolina, this top-tier international talent, bring this specific piece, this ultimate expression of American musical ambition to life, that's got to be the real anchor of the concert.
Definitely sounds like it. So after that big concerto, how do they wrap things up?
They end with the absolute quintessential American march, John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever.
Nothing more iconic than that.
Pretty much impossible. Composed in 1896, it's so ingrained in American culture, it was officially declared the national march of the United States.
And there's that famous story about how he composed it, right? In his head.
Yep. The anecdote is essential context. He composed the entire thing in his head while he was on a ship coming back to the U.S. from Europe. He'd just heard that his band manager had died suddenly.
So it came out of homesickness and maybe grief.
Intense homesickness, patriotic feeling, all mixed with that personal loss. And what's really fascinating, something the program notes detail, is the specific meaning Sousa attached to the final section, the trio.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
He said the three main themes were meant to represent the three main sections of the U.S. at that time. The North gets the big, broad, main melody that everyone knows.
Okay.
The South is represented by that famous, soaring piccolo obbligato, that really high, decorative part.
Ah, yes. Everyone knows that sound.
And the West. That's embodied by the bold, powerful counter melody played by the trombones.
Huh. So it's like a musical map of national unity.
Exactly. Composed during a period of intense national expansion and patriotism. The whole program bookended, really. This brand new fanfare commissioned for the anniversary, and this historic anthem born out of homesickness, past and present of the American soundscape.
That's a really well-structured program. Okay, vital info time. If someone listening wants to go to this American Icons concert, how do they get tickets? What's the best way?
Easiest and best price. Head straight to the orchestra's website. That's symphonicity.org.
Symphonicity.org. Got it.
Tickets start at $29. And this is important, that price includes all the fees.
Oh, that's great. No surprise charges at the end.
Exactly. Really commendable transparency and value there.
What if the website isn't an option, or you're deciding last minute?
You can also get tickets through the Sandler Center itself, including going right to the Sandler Center box office, even on the day of the concert.
Okay.
But the sources do offer a smart tip. If this whole Voices of America season sounds intriguing, you can get subscriptions for the entire season. And that offers savings of up to 15% compared to buying single tickets.
Good to know for the dedicated fans.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on the practical side? You mentioned personnel updates.
Yes, some important strategic changes happening in the administrative office, clearly designed to support this big season. 2 key updates.
Okay, who's involved?
First, Charlotte Fisher. She's been a real anchor for the admin team, handling bookkeeping and general administrative management for a long time.
Right.
She's now shifting her focus, stepping back from those broader duties to concentrate exclusively on ticket sales and management. She's the dedicated ticketing manager now.
Ah, so specializing. Makes sense. Ticketing is crucial for a nonprofit.
Absolutely vital. Maximizing revenue, making the patron experience smooth. Charlotte's the expert there. So dedicating her time solely to managing sales, handling, we'll call it, the Sandler Center, it optimizes that whole process. Patrons will still see her there.
And there's a specific email for ticketing questions.
Yep, it's tickets@symphonicity.org.
Okay, so if Charlotte is focusing on tickets, who's handling the day-to-day office admin stuff she was doing?
They've brought in a new face, a very seasoned professional. Kathy Jeffries is the new office administrator.
Kathy Jeffries. What's her background?
Sounds pretty impressive. The announcement mentions decades of nonprofit leadership and management experience, plus a background in banking. Serious operational chops.
Any specific previous roles mentioned?
Yeah, she was formerly the executive director at Seton Youth Shelters, and she also ran her own grant writing consulting business successfully.
Wow, okay. So she knows the nonprofit world inside and out.
Seems like it. Seems like a perfect fit for her expertise and the orchestra's needs.
Does she have connections to the arts or the local community?
Both. Described as a lifelong music lover, which is fitting. And she's very active locally, serves on several nonprofit boards, member of the Cape Henry Rotary Club. Her background and community ties seem like an ideal combination to keep the operational side running smoothly for this big 45th season.
Okay, so it sounds like they're really shoring up the support structure.
Definitely looks that way. Smart moves.
All right, so we've covered a lot. The big vision, the conductor's commitment, the incredible soloist story, the music details, the practical stuff. Let's try to wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, the listener?
Yeah, what's the big takeaway? I think it's that this season, Voices of America, is way more than just an anniversary celebration or a nod to the U.S. 250th. It's really a profound statement about the unique strength and resilience of this particular organization, Symphonicity.
Right, the fact that they can pull off programming 30 diverse American composers.
And navigate the years-long saga to bring back a global star like Svetlana Smolina after all the COVID chaos. It just underscores this incredible commitment to artistic excellence that's frankly remarkable for a community-based orchestra. It really shows the power of that local dedication and vision.
And that vision, the artistic choices, they set up something interesting for the audience to think about, don't they?
They absolutely do. And that leads perfectly into our final provocative thought for you to consider, especially if you go to the American Icons concert.
Okay, what should we be thinking about?
Think about that powerful juxtaposition of history that's literally woven into the musical program itself.
You mean the Walker piece and the Sousa March?
Exactly. You have George Walker's lyric for string orchestra, that incredibly moving memorial to his grandmother who lived most of her life enslaved. A piece born from confronting a painful, complex part of American history.
Right.
And then, closing the concert, a march explicitly intended, as Sousa wrote, to embody the unity of the entire nation, region by region, optimistic, unifying, patriotic.
So the lament and the march, side by side, in a way.
In the same concert program. So when you hear those two works, maybe reflect on how music acts as this multifaceted historical document, how it captures America's complex, diverse, sometimes contradictory story.
And a question to ask yourself.
Maybe ask, which of these voices, the voice of lament and remembrance, or the voice of unified celebration, resonates most strongly with the America you hear and experience today? Or how do they coexist?
That's a powerful thought to leave with. It's not just listening to music. It's engaging with history and identity.
Precisely. It's a conversation Symphonicity is clearly trying to start with this programming. We really hope you get a chance to dive into those program notes yourself and, of course, enjoy the American Icons performance on October 5th.
Sounds like an incredible start to their 45th year. Join us next time for another deep dive.
This podcast was produced by Symphonicity, the Symphony Orchestra of Virginia Beach, Virginia. To get tickets or to learn more about their concerts and events, visit symphonicity.org.